Today marks the end of the third annual A24 month. My name's Zach, and for the last month of April in 2025, I watched 24 A24 movies, not really for any reason particularly, just to kind of celebrate a movie studio that is very popular right now, and to watch movies that I never had the chance to watch otherwise. I have two other A24 months that I've done before, so if you are like, you gotta watch this movie, or you gotta watch this movie, check out those videos. Maybe I've already seen it. And also I want to acknowledge something that I acknowledged in the very first one, but I just want to say it again. I know that A24 is a distribution company. They don't necessarily make the movies in-house. They make some of them in-house. Especially recently, just because of how popular it's been, and good for them. But it's fun. I just want to enjoy celebrating movies whenever I get the chance. So, hey, if it's got the logo, it's good to go. Also, I bought this shirt for A24 month, but all of the shorts are filmed from here up, so nobody sees that I'm actually wearing an A24 shirt. And so this big retrospective video is more or less just to catch up on all the movies that I watched, and also just mention some notes that I didn't get to mention, making those initial shorts. Also just kind of talking about my process watching 24 movies in a month, which isn't really hard for me. It's more the fact that I have the schedule. I'm forcing myself within a time frame to watch all of these great movies, which can make things difficult, as we'll get into. Okay, we kicked off A24 month with Maxine. Whoa! I do want to correct something that I said in, I think, the Pearl short that I did last year, because I did X and Pearl last year. I wanted to correct that Maxine is not the first A24 sequel, or Pearl isn't the first A24 sequel. It's actually The Souvenir Part 2, which I've never heard of before until figuring out this mistake. But it is A24's first trilogy, and T. West created a great horror trilogy, and I can't wait to see what he comes up with next. The Front Room. I heard bad things about this movie, to be frank, but I watched it and I had a good time. I actually kind of watched this movie because the husband plays the new prince, or I guess not the prince, but the prince in the new Snow White movie, which I liked, haters. Although he's really dumb in this movie. Why does he let this happen? Especially with how scared he was in the beginning. He knows that this screwy stuff's gonna happen, but he doesn't care. I almost think that the reverse of this scenario would be really interesting as a movie, of a elderly woman coming to live with her son, but her daughter-in-law is the creepy odd one that she's never really liked, but nothing against her, but there's something else going on. I think it would be more interesting, especially because the elderly mother or the elderly father, whoever it is in a more vulnerable scenario. Problemista. The only extra note that I have here is that Emma Stone is the greatest producer of all time. She's been putting out some bangers lately, and I'm glad I watched this movie. This was the second time I watched this movie, and it was even better on the second watch. Heretic. Okay, this is my pick for the favorite of this year. Sophie Thatcher, Chloe East, and Hugh Grant. Mamma mia. I really love this movie. I think it's a great scary movie. I love the characters, I love the scenario. I especially love the debate at the center of this film, questioning your faith. I love the theme of control and the one true religion and all that stuff. It's really entertaining to watch. And I know that you could buy the candle from this movie, but I'm broke. So, nope. I love the Topher Grace jump scare. I think it's got perfect sound design and music. And I think this is my favorite A24 movie so far for the month. Let's see what changes. Y2K. Yeah, good stuff. I was sad to see that this got a negative reaction, but I think it's just, it wasn't the kind of movie people were expecting, but it's still really good. I like it a lot. Priscilla. Nope, I shouldn't make fun of the name. Priscilla. Yeah, I think Elvis's music is great, even though it's not technically his music. But I also can recognize that he's a nonce. Every situation in this movie feels really tense, always. Just because there's always the thought in the back of my mind of she's underage, dude. You're still a creep. I don't care how much you love her, man. Past Lives, this is just as devastating on a second watch. Janet Planet. This movie shows me why hippies shouldn't have kids. Maybe I was having a rough night when I wrote that note. Tuesday. Tuesday is a movie that has a lot of feeling and a lot of mood and a lot of metaphor and surreal ideas, and yet the story at the center of it is really good. And I did make sure to watch this movie on a Tuesday. The short came out on like a Thursday, but that's just because I was really efficient with what I was doing. But yeah, I was really surprised with how much I enjoyed this movie. The Florida Project. Okay, never mind. This is my favorite. I am such a huge fan of Sean Baker. I desperately want to work with him one day. Maybe as an actor. I'd love to be the next Simon Rex running down a street naked. Hee. And I'm very happy to have finally seen The Florida Project. I've heard that it's his best work, and I can confirm, yeah, I think it is. Again, I want to emphasize that everyone's great in this movie, especially Willem Dafoe. I could watch him run a motel for hours. That would be my bear. That's my bear. And the ending is so heartbreaking. I love how metaphorical it is, or figurative, I should say, because it is like a satisfying ending, because you know what's gotta happen, but you don't get that, but you know it's still gotta happen. And also, I love that he went back to the iPhones for the end of the movie. Florida Project, what a banger. Death of a Unicorn, that was my first theater A24 experience. Great movie. I really like it. I really like the idea of unicorns as monsters. That's cool. We Live in Time. That was halfway through. That was number 12. Yeah, baby. I just have here the horse meme. Queer. I think the best part of this movie, out of a lot of shining stuff, was the cinematography and the music. I gotta add the music. And Daniel Craig. He was really good too. There's a lot of great stuff in this movie. Warfare. War games! Warfare! Warfare. Incredible movie. I liked it a lot. I love the love for Call on Me, that song. It's a great song. I know that's not the point of the movie, but Call on Me is such a great song. A Different Man. Okay, maybe this is my favorite. Nah, The Florida Project still reigns supreme. Great performances. I love Sebastian Stan. I especially love Adam Pearson. I really, really enjoy the karaoke scene. I can now say with 100% certainty, though, that Sebastian Stan deserved the Oscar for this movie. And then I watched Sing Sing. Incredible movie. The only extra notes that I have here is I really wanted to see the actual play, fine print. It just sounds like a cool idea. This was the movie where I realized that I was catching up on all the A24 movies that I'd missed the previous year, and then kind of like working my way back. I didn't hit all of them. I've seen The Brutalist, and I've seen like a few others that I missed, but but I just couldn't do them for this A24 month because they're just not out anywhere. I just wanted to point out that like it was almost like a lot of housekeeping. Like I wanted to keep up with last year, and I wanted to cover all that. And if I do this next year, it's probably going to be the same thing. Showing up, I should start a penis count, because I rarely see penises in movies, but I've seen a lot in A24 month. Ooh, The Iron Claw. I mean, I'm a wrestling fan. How can I not love this movie? If you want to learn more about the story in this movie, I would really recommend watching a TV show called The Dark Side of the Ring. There's an episode focused on the Von Erich family. It's incredible. Also, and this is outside of A24 months, this was the day that A24 music was announced. Apparently they're going to do music. Alright, that would be really easy on me, just a bunch of music videos for A24 month. The Zone of Interest. This is one of the darkest movies I've ever seen, and it's hard to watch. Slice. Very B movie, and the story was confusing. I then watched The Deepest Breath. I don't really have a lot of opinions on a documentary. I'm glad I watched a documentary. It was pretty interesting. The Bling Ring. I wasn't really into this one, to be frank, but that's mostly because I started running out of steam for A24 month. It was getting harder to keep watching them, even though I only had 4 left. I was very busy this month. As you can see, I was really hitting the paint on YouTube, but it was hard to keep up. But I'm glad that I did, and even though The Bling Ring wasn't a movie that I necessarily was like dying to watch, I thought it was okay if you like that sort of stuff. It wasn't really my bag. The Legend of Achi. I like this movie the more that I think about it, just because of how incredible the scenic design is, the costumes, the puppetry. It's really incredible, the amazing creative team, what they were able to accomplish for this film. That's really why I love The Legend of Achi. Or Ochi, sorry, they pronounce it Ochi in the movie. And to close out A24 month, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a bling ring. Joke. My friend warned me that this movie was wild. I did like Baby Girl. I thought it was actually a very good movie, even knowing the kind of wild stuff that's in it. And, But I really liked it. I thought it was good. Yeah, definitely The Florida Project. I think that's my favorite movie of A24 month part 3. Yes. It has come to a close. We have done it, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends. Thank you guys so much for watching and all the shorts that you've seen maybe throughout this month. I also posted them on TikTok, and for some reason they go wild over there. And I had a good time doing this. Maybe I'll do this again next year. That's what I said last year, and that's what I said the year before that, and I still did it again. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.